Welcome to EyE on You. As the flagship for Hong Kong's information and communication technology industry, Cyberport has over the years been implementing its public mission programs through the provision of financial and professional supports to nurture startups, to inspire and motivate young people to pursue a career in the innovation and technology industry, and also create business opportunities. Over the years, Cyberport has launched a number of funding schemes to offer appropriate support to startups at different stages of development. A number of companies within the Cyberport community have also attained excellent accomplishments in recent years.
Yes, Cyberport has been focusing on promoting three major clusters, namely fintech, digital entertainment, and esports, as well as smart living. In terms of technology, Cyberport has also in recent years actively promoted the advancement and application of AI and big data, blockchain, and cybersecurity to lay the foundation for future technology applications. Today, we are very happy to invite Mr. Peter Yan, CEO of the Hong Kong Cyberport Management Company Limited, to our show and let us know more about Cyberport, what Cyberport will provide to startup companies on fostering industry development, enterprise transformation, and talent cultivation to realize Cyberport's vision to create new impetus for Hong Kong's new economy through digital technology. Hello, Peter. Welcome to our show today.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. Yeah, nice meeting you too.
Yes. So as the CEO of the Hong Kong Cyberport Management Company Limited, you have been leading Cyberport to fulfill its public mission of giving the new impetus to Hong Kong's economy through the digital technology. So what you have been specifically tried to do so?
Right, yeah. At Cyberport, I think we are very fortunate to have a wide community of entrepreneurs working in the tech areas. We have now over 1,800 companies over the years accumulated in our Cyberport community. And in the past 3 to 4 years in particular, what we have been trying to do is to focus on three things. Now, we have limited resources, so we have to focus our resources on three things to make it more impactful. Well, one is definitely talent cultivation. Because we can't really have a good development in tech entrepreneurship without good talents. So talent cultivation is definitely something that we have the first priority for focus on. We have a series of programs facilitating talent development and so on. I'll not go into the details, but maybe in coming discussion I'll elaborate a little bit on that. Then there is also the very important thing of trying to get technology into something that becomes an economic driver for Hong Kong to have stronger economic contribution. So driving industry development to turn technology into a strong economic driver is something that we have also been trying very hard to do in encouraging people to set up companies, in encouraging them to do application that is sustainable, that has economic contributions, and so on. Now, the third one is again, becoming more and more important, is to have the new economy technology companies to integrate with the traditional industries, traditional economy of the pillar industries in Hong Kong, including, of course, financial services, a lot of logistics-related services, hospitality-related services, and also to a large extent becoming more and more important, the digital entertainment areas. So these are the three focus, you can say, namely talent cultivation, driving industry development, and also integration of traditional and new economy are the things that we have been focusing on.
Yeah. You've mentioned about the economy driver,
yes,
which technology may be an economy driver of Hong Kong. And Hong Kong is positioned as the international technology and innovation hub according to the 14th five-year plan. And the government have actually invested over 150 billion
yes,
to support innovation. So other than that, the number of startups have increased from 1,500 in 2015 to 4,000 startups in 2021, and this went pretty well. So how do you think about the current innovation environment in Hong Kong, and how do you think that the government can improve this environment?
Yes, you're absolutely right that the government actually have been in the past years, 4 or 5 years, been putting a lot of resources into innovation and technology, and that has definitely generated results and outcomes like what you have just mentioned in terms of the increase in the number of tech entrepreneurs and also other related results in terms of research and so on. These are things that we would like to see continue to happen, so that there is a very strong environment to encourage people to continue their development work, and with the base of the larger base of startup companies there, they need continuous support so that they can then scale up and then becomes unicorn and then becomes listed and generate even more high impact on the economy and so on.
So just now you have said about how does those financial services or fintech companies, how do they generate their move from their ideas to the application,
Yes.
and make it to a real things, and how does Cyberport help them, and what services do you offer for these small companies or these new companies in order to turn their ideas into applications?
What Cyberport has done, besides the program that we mentioned, supported by the Financial Services and Treasury Bureau, we have quite a number of these initiatives, and it's also something that surround on the three focus that I just mentioned. Take fintech for example. There are programs again, supported by government that we worked on to create, to help develop talents. So we create jobs that the government subsidize to encourage the fintech companies to hire new staff, so that more Hong Kong students or graduates or people from the traditional financial services industry can then join these tech companies to understand, to experience what exactly fintechs are.
Just now you have mentioned about talent cultivation, and I can see that you are very committed to nurturing talent.
Yes.
And once you have said that, you provide service on advising people who are committed to entrepreneurship and innovation, and help them to apply for tax reduction and financial support. So how are we doing at talent attraction at the local level and on the international level? And how are they doing? And are there any startups in Hong Kong that attracts you a lot, that impress you a lot?
Right. Okay. What now we do at Cyberport in terms of talent cultivation? This gives me a chance to elaborate a little bit more on what we do. What we have, like what you said, is to provide a lot of advisors and also a lot of exposure for them to understand better what's happening in their area of focus. Through a number of different programs. Now, we have set up a series of what we call Cyberport networks. So including Cyberport Enterprise Network, Cyberport Investor Network, Cyberport Technology Service Network, and also Cyberport Professional Service Network. How these actually work, in short, is to help them to match with traditional companies to generate business. So these are the things that we do. Now go back to your question about what are the things that we can attract actually talents to Hong Kong. Now, for us to become an international and international innovation and technology center, we can't do without really attracting talents from all over the world and grooming our local talents to establish that. So this is something of utmost importance to us. Hong Kong actually has to me a lot of advantage in the sense that we have a very established environment We have, in particular for fintech, for financial technology, for example, we have been an international finance center for so many years. So we have this very conducive business environment. We have a lot of talents we may not know, locally developed, locally groomed, that are very aware of financial concepts, financial services, and so on. Now, we living in Hong Kong may not realize that, because on a day-to-day basis we are, exposed to these things. Now, if you go to other cities, you may not find that many people who are very knowledgeable about stock trading, about what exactly different financial products are, and so on. But in Hong Kong, these are in a way general knowledge, for a lot of people. So this actually is a reflection of the environment advantage that we have, and not to mention also that we have quite a lot of established companies, in Hong Kong that are internationally renowned, that they will have a lot of best practice experience, that in working with them we can then learn, or adopt a lot of these experience and probably do it better to extend our service to other parts of the world. All these things are something that we already have. We just have to, leverage on more and to make the best use of it. But what fundamentally I think is the key factor in attracting talent is opportunity. There are people may say that Hong Kong is very expensive. There are a lot of things that people may find difficult to settle in Hong Kong, difficult to find good schools, difficult to find a good place to live, not spacious enough, blah blah, so on. Now this is the same with a lot of metropolitan cities. If you go to New York, if you go to London or California, San Jose or San Francisco, and so on, they have the same issue. They have the same problem. It's very expensive living there too, and difficult to find a lot of other living good living conditions, spacious conditions, and so on. But why would people still, go there? Because there are opportunities. So to me, I think the key thing is really to go back to some of the points that I made earlier, is to develop opportunities, to have an environment that people can also have economic contribution. So as a result, they can make money. There are more opportunities for them to set up business, to expose to or expand to a bigger market. Hong Kong itself cannot, sustain this. We have been very successful in past many years and will continue to be, I think, with the backing of the central government's policies and so on. We have the Greater Bay Area, huge market that a lot of people would like to come and develop further. And this is a strong attraction for overseas talents. We are also in a very advantageous position in Asia. We have very good relations with many Asian cities, Asian countries for a long period of time. So all these are things that can facilitate us in expanding to let these talents based in Hong Kong and develop business all over this region, and in particular GBA and the mainland market. But how do we facilitate that? To me, the key is really to encourage the digital economy development with more resources put into, actually, like what I said earlier, turning some of the R&D into applications, and then encourage adoption. Not just the local adoption. We may start with the local adoption so that they have a good reference, good branding, to then expand to GBA, to then expand to South Asia, other Asia countries, and so on.
I think that is a very comprehensive answers for how do we nurturing and how do we attract talents to Hong Kong and attract Hong Kong's to be the pool for the talents for the GBA. But do you think that the epidemic will help to develop startups in Hong Kong?
That's a good question. People's often think that the epidemic or the pandemic is really sort of a curse, to Hong Kong or to the world as a whole. But then this also, I think, has a silver lining to this situation, because it actually makes certain things happen faster, and in particular for the innovation and technology sector. Specifically, I think we are now all used to working from home, studying from home, and so on, and making that possible is a technology platform that allows us to have distance exchanges, remote exchanges, and so on. So this is one of the very I think vivid example of us speeding up or accelerating the adoption of technology, because the need arises. The working from remote working and remote learning needs arise.
So just now we talked about the Greater Bay areas, right? How do we nurture talents, and how do we attract talents to Hong Kong as the pool for the talents in the Greater Bay area?
Yes.
So what is the future plans for the cooperation with other GBA cities in the future?
Right. Now, in the past, actually, we have already started with cooperation with the major mainland cities, even before there is this GBA the development plans and so on. Now, there is a program that we have established for 10 years now, which we have now turned into what we call the GBA Young Entrepreneurial Program. So GBA YEP. Yeah. It was first established about 10 years ago as a Hong Kong Shenzhen cooperation. So what we do is to provide a $100,000 incentive for Hong Kong students, undergraduates, to work with the university undergraduates in Shenzhen to form teams, so that they then can compete to present their entrepreneurship ideas and so on. So the winner will get the 100,000 Hong Kong dollar to try to start their own business. So that's something that we have done.
Mr. Peter Yan, we hope that we can see you again on our show soon.
Thank you for inviting me here. Thank you.
Thank you very
Peter.
much.